And as we close, and that is that God is showing me that there's a lot of people that are not here. Uh, a large percentage that many Americans that are aware of some things that's going to take place in America, they have already relocated, and that's the reason why you can't get your mail on time. It's because they have the illegals that are working in the post office, and that they're not totally trained where they can do it the way how a trained American that has been working at the post office for 10 and 20 years. But most of those workers are gone. They are being managed through the illegal migrants. When Biden and Harris has taken over, that's when they allow for them to come over and to fulfill the positions of those jobs that were open. There's a lot of people missing because many have relocated, not just out of America, but in other parts also um, in America that is not where it's large populated. Another thing, a large group of people are gone. And when I say gone, the church, I hope you all are listening. When was the last time the church has done a doc, a doc checkup? That means calling their members to see how are they doing. That's how the churches used to do, and you have those very few churches that are doing it now, but it's only a few. But I think that is very important because God has prospered us and He has prospered the church, and that is to be able to. And it really used to be the pastor that used to do it. Usually, we'll give someone else as the title to do something like that and would not get the real results on the real numbers. That's something I truly believe that if the pastor will call and check on, I'm not talking about members you see, I'm talking about members you don't see. And the pastors will really see, and God will show the pastor that there are really many of people that are gone that are no longer living, and that this is not just because of um, the corona that then they went to the COVID, but this is also where many of people has been eliminated. There's no reason, no coincidence that God has allowed me to play the robe, and then God allowed for the movie One Night with the King. I was going to play another movie, but God had One Night with the King to pop up, and that's what He wanted me to play because He's letting us know that we're in this time now. My goodness, just looking at the fires that they're doing with the Palisades. The Palisades, I used to live in California, and that also I got a chance to go into the Palisades, with the grace of God. So I'm familiar with the nice homes that they have. And the thing is that the Palisades, they have actually um, burnt those people out. And then the governor never given a warning to the people in time. And then also you have the female fire chief didn't even have water to put the fires out, and she knew about this. Then you had the mayor who was out of the country and was warned that this could happen, but she chose to go out of the country anyway. So it's like they all knew, but the those that live in the Palisades, and I would say this is that I warned those that lived in the Palisades. I told them you need to work together and to come together and and get the proper papers to get rid of your governor and get rid of your mayor. And they did get rid of the female fire chief, but they have to get rid of the governor and the mayor. So this cannot continue to happen in California. I said because they will try to do this in other states and make it look like, oh, because it's dry and so things is catching on fire. As I was driving on the highway, I noticed that on the highway and even the streets, like the streets that you see that they've been working on for years. And I'm saying to myself, um, now that I look at the streets, is that the streets have like a circle. It's like a circle, maybe like the size of a foot, but it's a circle. And it looks like, and then around it, it's like a it's like a steel going around it, as to say, like that's like a little lid that like in the streets you might see that it's a bigger circle and then steam come out of it. Well, I'm seeing small ones that they have put in the streets, because I'm saying, can something be released from out of that when the time comes, um, which is gas, because they're all on the areas where they have worked it on the streets, and then also highways. And I make sure that I don't drive over it because God allowed me to see it. Another thing, the fires are coming from below. Watch the movie called um, Fire Coming from Below. You can watch it on YouTube. And ask God to give you insight. Another thing, and that is when you drive over an overpass or an interest section, like you from the highway, you're going from the highway to the bridge, but you're going to notice, if you look at the intersection section, you're going to see a it looked like a metal going from one end to the other end. And those are, I'm trying to think of the name. There are dividers. It's just like in, let's say, in San Francisco, where for the bridges can open up so the ships can come through. I forgot the name of that, but that's what they have on many highways. And that is not for no bridges to go through. That means they can actually push a button and the bridge can actually open up. And it kind of reminded me of the movie called 2012. But I know that a lot of believers um, couldn't believe, like, this cannot be. But God said there would be trouble like never before. And if you think that the robe was something for the Christians in the day, God said it would be worser. And another thing, do you all remember watching the movie called The Jurassic Park? Where, believe it or not, they didn't just make that movie as Jurassic Park. If you really pay attention and revisit again and ask God to give you insight before you see these movies, but the Jurassic Park is actually telling you that they have taken the bones and they have actually made clones dinosaurs. I know that you all might think that that is far-fetched, but cloning, they made a lot of things. And believe it or not, they have made the cloned dinosaur. Another thing to be aware, animals, your dogs, your cats, your animals. They're showing on the TV that made it on the news that this white male was attacked with his own dog. I'm trying to think what is his name, because he's famous, he's known, and that's the reason why. But I think that if you go on YouTube and put in man was attacked by his dog, it shows the dog. Someone was able to videotape it, and the dog was like another, like "Rawr." And he's supposed to have a loving dog. But let me say this: God is revealing to me that they're going to use animals to attack the people. Why do you think they're doing all of these commercials? They show the cat on top of a kitchen table. I said to myself, you have got to be serious. They're showing these commercials so people can do these dumb things, to put a dog in a chair and eat at the table with the people. They know that dogs can carry diseases, can carry ticks, and you let the dog be able to lay down in your bed. Well, guess what? He got worms, but they're going to use animals to be able to have some of these diseases and then transfer them into the people. So it kind of reminded me that cause people to then be affected with this kind of disease. It can cause them to be able to act like the people in the movie called The Crazies. I don't know if that's on YouTube or streaming device. But yeah, so those things, the things that's coming, is the movie called The Happenings, and that is where they spray a chemtrail substance or some kind of chemicals in the air. I mean, they're doing it now, and it causes people to become suicidal. It causes people to attack one another and even their family members. So there should be more people, um, God's people, those that's speaking prophetically that God is calling in this day and hour. These should be the conversations on what's happening and what's about to happen. So far, we don't hear no prophetic voices that will specifically can be able to say what is already happening and what's going on, and what God's people need to be aware of. So definitely pray, because believe it or not, the migrants, people don't have a clue. When Obama was in office, they allowed at least 200 million to come through United States, and we didn't know nothing about it. Okay, that was 2008. I didn't have the knowledge like I have today. I was focusing on then, when I was doing the radio broadcast, on how they're going to do this new ID. And guess what? I did that in 2008, got revealed, and now they're coming up with the new ID, that everybody will have to get a new ID. And trying to think what's the name of it, but you can pull it up for the DMV, and be amazed, because majority people that's working at the DMV, or there's a lot of illegals that are working in places that we go for services. Whether you go to Best Buy and get a phone, or get something, you're showing your ID. I was in an incident where I showed my ID to um, for this certain product, and the person was trying to utilize my information, and however, whatever the guy did on that, God took care of that. So I'm noticing that no, you can't even pull out your ID, pay cash, and that eliminate any kind of identification with your information. Also, when I was in Best Buy purchasing a product, when the person that took my ID was trying to get information off of it, that's what it appeared to be. Another thing is that that's what it was. Another thing is that then somebody else, another staff, pretending like what he had in his hand, it might look like a phone, but what it was, he came across me, and God let me know that that's a scanner. A scanner is where they can come across you and, like, oh, excuse me, like they kind of a little bump into you, or they kind of a little get in your way, because they're scanning what's in your purse, and they can scan your credit cards, and have all your information, your account numbers, whatever you got in your purse. And you're not going to hear this on the news. It's because um, Channel 4 and 5, it seems that there are a Democratic um, views, because they will never talk about Harris or talk about Biden, but they will talk about Trump. So that's how you know what station supports what party. So you don't want to take everything they say face value. And that Channel 4 and 5, and you know, also if you watch Channel 2, which is Fox, they support what Trump do, but still you have to ask God to show you what's true and what's not. Another thing I noticed, that the news people here in St. Louis, about 3 days ago, the weather people, watch out for the weather people, because they're actually talking about in about 3 days there's going to be a storm, and then at nighttime is when it's going to get real heavy, and then there's going to be a fire. It's like I'm saying to myself, there's no way you're going to know it's going to be a storm, a fire, all of these things, if you're not in on it, telling the people when to do it, because there's no way. That's not how God's nature works. And this is not Mother Nature, but these are man made things. So I pray and hope that um, God's people will get serious and really talk about what's going on. It's because they don't want to be put in a position concerning the things that's getting riled up and some things that's going to take place. Okay? All right. Take care. God bless.